Yeah. So this is not going to be a big demo or how to develop open source ABAP projects, or it's not going to be a big session. It will be completed in 15-20 minutes max. So so you guys don't need to worry about the timing part. Now, com- okay, today's session is about ABAP open source projects. So, like, okay, before going to the ABAP open source project, let's talk about what Sagar has shared till now. So Sagar was earlier talking about VS Code and many libraries, custom tasks and all. Even if you have observed, right, he's talking about node modules. Inside node modules, many sub modules were there. So what are the sub modules? Are they developed by SAP? If you see them, maybe I cannot show it right now, but anyway, if you would have seen Sagar's demo, right, there were many modules that were used by SAP. So not all of them, maybe at least 80% of them were not developed by SAP. SAP, what they did is they used open source projects. So open source projects from GitHub. So I don't know many, hope many of you guys know about it. Node.js and GitHub, Node.js packages. So NPM packages. So if you guys know about these, right, GitHub and NPM, so you guys know that there are many open source libraries that were currently being used by many other people for free, because people develop it and give it to the community, so they are reusing it. So in the same way, SAP also started depending on more on open source libraries, especially outside ABAP, not in ABAP, outside ABAP, especially this VS Code, all these things, right? Just a second, guys. Okay, just a second. Sorry, there was some slight disturbance. So yeah, so even SAP UFI related tooling and all, they were reusing many open source projects. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Uh, so if you see outside ABAP, even SAP is also reusing many of the stuff from GitHub and NPM. But what about ABAP? If you see, ABAP was always has been the black sheep. So people, as ABAP is proprietary, SAP is proprietary software, there were not many open source projects on ABAP, especially till couple of years back. Maybe from 5 years back, what happened is SAP Git has started. So we'll talk about that later. But SAP ABAP has never been in that area of open sources and all. But it was there, very little community, very small community was there, where people used to share some of the tools like Excel, ABAP to XLS. Maybe many people have heard about ABAP to XLS. It was a very famous tool. And like that, maybe we have used in our earlier days, where we used to copy code from one place to another place, right? So we used to install something called SAP Link. So maybe, I don't know, Nudgets and all, maybe you guys might have heard about that. So it was there, but not so big as Node.js and NPM, right? NPM community. It was not as big as this, but it was there, very small, very, very small, maybe 0.01% compared to NPM. So, but there has been, recent developments in this area, and many people in community started to do many open source projects, which other people from community are using it. So this is the main agenda of this my session today. I'll just show you guys where you can start digging into these ABAP open source projects, and maybe you can also start using them in your company. So let me start first with why. So I think I already discussed about why we need it is, everyone cannot start developing their own applications from the uh, beginning, from the scratch. So for example, ABAP to XLS. So if you see in our companies, mainly for ABAP developers, right, to create Excel objects or to do something, manipulate something in Excel, right, it's a kind of tedious object. So we always categorize it as a difficult task. But I don't know if you guys know about things called open source project called ABAP to XLS. If you start using it, right, your Excel will your Excel capabilities in ABAP, right? To manipulate Excel or create Excels or read the Excel data, it will become so easier with it. So that is one example. So like that, you can use other projects which were developed by some other people, and we can use it in our project. So our development will become a lot easier. So that is one of the reason why we need them. So that is one of the reason why SAP has used open source projects like Lodash, many other open source projects in their UFI tools. So that's why they were able to develop the UFI tools very quickly. So in a similar way, we can also use many of the above open source projects. But when it was started, I mean, it was there from long back, but initially it was there as SAP Link, where it used to create nudgets. So they used to call it as nudgets. When I was in training, I used to, check them out. But after that, I never used it. But basically, it was called ABAP Link, and it was, it is now deprecated. No one is using it. So the support has been stopped there. So earlier with SAP Link, right? Maybe I have, used one blog, even though in 2018 people were posting about it, which is actually nice. So you can, at this point of time, we have ABAP Git. I will talk about it later. But anyway, you can check out this blog to understand what is SAP Link, if you can still use it, or it's not required. So this is anyway old one. You can still use it, but it's old one. And with ABAP Git, there are many new capabilities out there. So I'll not talk stress about ABAP Link here. I'll just go to ABAP Git. So the next topic is ABAP Git. So ABAP Link was there in 2010, 11, 12 at that time probably, or 13. But after that, ABAP Git came into picture. This is also ABAP Git is something created by SAP community itself. It's not from SAP. SAP didn't create it. If you see GitHub, right? So GitHub is a place where we, share our projects online for everyone, so that they can import that project, and they can, it's like a version management tool, like how our SAP has transports and versions, right? In transport, we have different versions, all these things. So in the same way, GitHub is also similar to transport, but it's more than transport. It is even better than that. Even SAP is also using Git in the latest S4 HANA. So they are calling it as oh man, I forgot it. But anyway, it's ABAP Git extended version. I don't remember the name, but it's still in the beginning stages. But in future, we will see the full Git integration in our ABAP. So it will be very nice. I'm not going to talk about anything related to Git and ABAP now, because it will become a very big session, and I want to complete it as soon as possible. So you can just, Google SAP ABAP Git, and you can get more information from it online. So now I was talking about ABAP Git, right? This is a community project created by Lars. So this is a person who created it, who started it, and people started enhancing it and doing many beautiful things with ABAP Git. Just imagine SAP itself took took this ABAP Git, and they used it in their SAP S4 HANA systems. So just imagine how much popular it is. So because till then we don't have any proper sharing tools for like Git. So that's why SAP Link was there, but it was not great. It was not good. So that's why they came with ABAP Git, and not only this guy, many other people has contributed to that, and it became a very big project right now. So I can check. I can show it here. ABAP Git. So yeah, just see almost 104 contributors, and even SAP also contributed, and they are using it. Just imagine the capabilities of this. So you can just go through it. It's not even difficult to install it. It's very easy to install. So it's just there is one. I don't know where it can find it. Let me search ABAP Git installation. So I'll just go to ABAP Git here. So you just need to go here, download it from this project, and go to SC38 and run the program. That's it. Nothing. You don't need to do anything. They will just give a file, just download it and import that package and run it. So it will install ABAP Git. And the best thing is you don't need to. So this one. So you don't need to install it in production or quality. You just need to install it in development, because what ABAP Git does is it's a tool to download other open source projects. So the other open source project that I was talking about is in .abap.org. So this is a place where we have all ABAP Git related open source projects. So I was talking about ABAP to XLS, right? So this is one of the tool. So what you need to do is just take this link. Once you install this one in your ABAP system, right? Run that application and give this link. That's it. It will install it in your development system in a package, and you can assign it to a transport, and you can move it to quality. So you don't need to worry about this ABAP Git and all. So the only thing it does is it will download this, and you can add only this ABAP to XLS in your transport and move it to production till production. That would be fine, right? So yeah, so that is the steps to install ABAP Git in your landscape. And if you see in ABAP Git, right, ABAP Git related projects are all saved, are all uploaded here in .abap.org. So here you will see all ABAP open source projects, and you can sort them out by based on stars. Star means number of people who appreciated it basically. But first thing I would say is for everyone to start using this ABAP to XLS in case if they have any XLS requirement in your landscape. So this is very easy tool where you can do all Excel related things, like you can generate Excel with the multiple worksheets, or you can read an Excel which has multiple worksheet and you can change it, you can put color, you can do many things there. So this is very nice tool. So this everyone can install it, and like that the many other open source tools are there. You can just go through them, and if you feel like it matches your requirement, you can basically use it. So this one also very beautiful thing, JSON to ABAP. So you can pass JSON string, and then it will automatically create a table type for it. So like that many other tools are there. You can just go through it. Like I said, it's not a difficult job at all. You just download it. You don't even need to have a connection to internet. So you just download it, upload it as a thing, and then activate it, and then run it. Simple. So you have ABAP Git in your system, and later just go here, whatever the project that you like, right? Like ABAP Logger. So what we do, if we know, I hope many people here knows about ABAP Logger, bal log create, bal log, all these things. Every time we usually use these function modules, right? So, and this is like a cumbersome task where we have to maintain header, all these things we need to do. The thing is ABAP Logger simplifies it. So what it does is it will simplify it into these objects. So when you want to instantiate, just run this. And when you want to log an error, right, just type E and then pass this. So this will be an error message. Or you can chain it. So there are many other things, capabilities here. If you want to log a success message. So these are some of the things, some of the capabilities that you can use in your application. So guys, what I wanted to say is just go through them and just explore them. Just see, first understand what are the things are there. You don't need to start using it. Just go and see it, install this thing in your landscape, and start. If you have any requirement, just start using it. Or if you have developed any good reusable tool, right? Why don't you share it to the community? So just share it to the community so everyone else can use it. That is also one way. So recently, one person that I know has feature switch. So they are talking about feature switch means it's like you have developed a new capability in your system, but you want to give it to only few users, not to everyone. So then you can use this feature switch to only give it to particular users, not to everyone. So this is also one nice thing. He's still developing it. So if people want to contribute, right, so they can start going to this one here from GitHub. They can go there and they can start contributing it. They can add their own capabilities to it and they can reuse it. So yeah, so this is a very brief introduction. So ABAP Git, and also yeah, so you can start exploring it, and maybe you can ask me, or you can ask SAP community itself if you have any doubts. There are many blogs available there. Like I said, I just did ABAP Git SAP blog. So you get see a lot of things related to that. You just go through that and understand it. As I said, this is just a very brief introduction. And one of the thing I wanted to share is, this guy has done something called, maybe sorted by stars. Yeah, ABAP open checks and something called ABAP. Where is that? Okay, anyway, I'll show it here. So he started something called ABAP Lint. So ABAP Lint is something where you can start, if you have any application in your VS Code, right? If you want to develop in VS Code, then your application should have some checks, right? Whether this is an error if you are using data variable without declaration, or maybe some errors, some sort of errors, right? So those, all these things, right, will be handled by ABAP lint. Even to, if you see, right, he didn't maintain the indentation. So see, automatically it took the indentation. All these capabilities are coming from ABAP Git. This is also ABAP lint. So this is also open source thing that this guy has developed. So it's not there in the final form. Maybe you cannot use it, but the thing is, ABAP Git was also like that only in 2013-14, right? When he started, no one was using ABAP Git at that time. Only few people contributed, only few people started it. But now see, SAP has started using it in S4HANA. Who would have believed it after 7 years, 8 years? So it's the same like this also. ABAP Lint he has started recently. Maybe you can also check it. It has very good capabilities. Maybe one day SAP will also use it in their landscape. But like that, you can also, if you have some idea or some reusability in your landscape, why not upload it as an open source project so people can enhance it? So it's not that you are sharing it, it's that people will enhance the functionality so you can also use it. So that is one of the nice way. So that's it, guys. This was supposed to be only just a brief introduction. I don't want to dig much about it. Maybe it will, if I dig, it will become very big session. So installation, all these things also I can show. But maybe we can have it in another session, or maybe if some of you guys know about ABAP Git, right? Why don't you guys share about that information? It will be nice to have another session from you guys from community to share. Okay, so that's it, guys, from my side. And if you guys have any questions, you can start asking.